Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Sports Zone here on Joy Prime. And tonight, penalties once again was Ghana's been at the topmost level of continental football as the Black Satellites failed to secure a ticket to the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. And that has extended Ghana's failure to participate in this youth competition to about a decade. Ghana is the only African country to have won this competition. However, in recent times, Ghana is even struggling to be part of the teams that compete on this stage. And Ghana's 4x1 relay team, they are also heading to Tokyo for the World Athletics Championships after qualifying on day 2 of the Guangzhou World Relays. And guess what? They did a season best of 38.32 seconds. We'll also talk about the FA Cup, where Kumasi Asante Kotoko have secured a ticket to the final of the competition, hoping to win it for the first time since 2017, when they caught Accra House of Oak at the Tamale Sports Stadium, which was recently rechristened Aliu Muhammad Sports Stadium, and defeated by 3-0 to be able to win that competition. Then we'll also be talking about how a tram divisor, they have failed to make it to the final after losing to Golden Kick. And guess what? Golden Kick are just a kick away from probably writing their names in the folklore of Ghana football stories. We'll bring you highlights of Premier League as well as La Liga. Kylian Mbappe scored a hat-trick, but that was not enough as Barcelona came from behind to defeat them by 4-3. These and many more here on Sports Zone tonight. And I've already been joined by my guest, Victor Achutamaklo and Daniel Cranton. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. Fantastic. It's always a pleasure having you tonight. And guess what? Guinness, Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix, Piva Beverages that made it possible for us to be here tonight. Gentlemen, how are you?
Swagging through. Swagging through.
Alaji is flexing. You're flexing more.
I'm enjoying my guest. Swag. No, it's funny.
Behave.
It's funny.
Behave.
Just collect the funds.
Whose idea was it? The old one was getting boring. It was getting boring.
See, I just walked in here and said, no,
let's change.
Today we will do something.
Man with the vision. It's funny.
And then Pamela bought the idea. Though Iman, the people didn't want to buy it.
John guys, forget them.
Piva, they've got something special for us tonight. Where's your own?
I've given you mine, but you're asking me where's
your own?
Have you given me one?
You see this guy? I gave him the bottle of water. Then he's asking me on air where's your own. Okay, give me my water.
I can't give you.
It's your life.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll do some more here on. Also, wine.
She's what? She's what?
My director, was it 3, 2, why?
Why you do like that?
Why no? The one,
Pamela.
why no?
Why?
The one,
Why is that? What is
the
wine?
one Jesus turned water into, or the one that involves spinning of the body.
Wine. She no try. I mean, I didn't hear. So
But she dropped bars because you wouldn't know which one she's referring
I
to.
didn't hear.
That's the point, too.
I don't believe.
1, 3, 2, 1. Why is he saying?
Master, you are the one seeing it. It's not Pamela. You are the one seeing it.
This is Sports Zone, still probably brought to you by Kivo 4-in-1 Gary Showcase Mix. My Gary Showcase are easy, feeling hungry and want something quick to eat. Kivo 4-in-1 Gary Showcase Mix is your hunger friend. It has all you need inside. We have the crispy gari, we have the crunchy granite, we've got the creamy milk and sugar. So all you need is just add water and you are good to go. No stress, just delicious taste. And enjoy it at the office, boarding house, home, or anywhere you want. And in fact, just a couple of hours ago, I took Kivo Gari. I'm an ambassador for Kivo Gari, just like Mohamed Kudus. Yes, that my own, I know blue, but Kudus is blue. That's why he own day out there. So it's available in various markets and retail shops across the country. Wherever you want it, just step out to a shop near you and ask for Kivo Gari. In fact, they've got it in varieties, one with low sugar and one with normal sugar. So you decide the one you want and you pick it up. Kivo 4-in-1 Gari soakings mix, and my Gari soakings are easy. This advert is FDA approved. And also, Piva Beverages, looking for a burst of flavor in every sip. Discover the refreshing taste of Piva Beverages. Enjoy the classic Piva Cola flavor, orange flavor, tangerine flavor, grape and cocktail. Flavorful moments in every bottle. Piva Cola, orange, cocktail, grape and tangy. Grab yours today. Available now at a local store near you. So you can call us on 0550 032231. 0550 032231. Piva, a taste you will always love. In fact, I didn't even mention this is Piva water. There's the best mineral water out there that you can get. So Piva water, make them your friend. And Guinness, yes, you can. There's a new Guinness product in the market, which is the Guinness Smooth. And it is rich and smooth stout. So guess what? This Guinness Smooth, truly distinctive. The perfect balance of bitter roasted barley and sweet malt to give you a smooth and refreshingly tasting stout. Serve a chilled and enjoy the smooth experience. So this one, for instance, it has lower alcohol quantum than the other Guinness that you know in the market. This one has alcohol percentage of 5, and the other one has alcohol percentage of 7.5. So whichever one you want, make it your friend. But Guinness Smooth is quite a special drink that you would need to get one for yourself. Gentlemen, let's get talking. And let me start with Daniel Cranton. You watched the relay team, they won. Day 2. They won quite close. Is it 100th of a second that the team missed out? Clearly, they were just on their way to automatically securing qualification. It didn't work out. Day 2, they got it done. Talk to me about what is so special about this group. In fact, I remember about a year or so ago, you were making the point about how this generation of athletes have really spoiled Ghanaians to the extent that we expect more from them.
Yeah, they have. For a very long time, Ghanaian sprint was sleeping. And then 2019, these boys emerged when they went to Rabat, won the Africa Games, and from then it's been achievement after achievement. They've made back-to-back Olympics finals. They made one in Tokyo, and then in Paris they were also brilliant. They did the World Championships last time around. The only unfortunate thing was that injury struck, so they were not able to compete. But this is back-to-back. I think it's 3 times in a row.
This is the 3rd World Championship they're going.
They're heading to. 3rd successive World Championship qualification, and it as I was saying last year, it seems normal now, but it's not. It just shows you the consistency that these boys have been on, and when you are rubbing shoulders with the best, it's very difficult, to be frank. The best of the best gathered in Guangzhou over the weekend, and Ghana emerged as one of the best in the 4x1, and that was absolutely brilliant. For me, what stands out is the fact that we did it without our most informed runner and our fastest runner ever, in Azamati and Abdul Rashid Saminu. And we saw when I say new names in this team, not in terms of Ghanaian sprints, but in terms of as a quartet. Yeah. We've never seen Barnabas Aguirre run with this group at the international level. Yeah. We've never seen Bokpin run with this group at the international level. True. Barnabas over the 2 days was brilliant. And another thing that struck me was Sean Safuntri didn't necessarily have the best of runs on day 1. Yeah. Then he switched with Bokpin, who was now running with the group for the first time on the biggest stage that he's ever been on. But he held his own. I think he brought us back into it. It was a good start from Barnabas. The handover to Joe Paul was a bit faulty, but Joe Paul was really smart, because if you watched it, he was just about heading outside the changeover zone. And then he realized it and slowed down, picked it up, because it's safety over speed and accuracy over speed. He slowed himself down. And as he was running, the first few seconds into his strides, he was trying to juggle the baton.
He knew if he takes off, the guy would not catch him.
Exactly. Then he started getting into his running. So he had managed to close down the gap that existed at the point where he was picking up the baton. Handed it over to Bokpin, who did a really good job of keeping it as close as possible, because we knew, especially from evidence of day one, that when Fuseni picked up the baton, it would be a different story. And he gave him just enough time for him to close down that gap. Get past, I think, was Chinese Taipei, and then Ghana were able to secure qualification. And it was just, we could have won the 2 races, in fact. We could have won the day 1, we could have won the day 2. But again, we did it without our 2 fastest runners. And it is only going to get better. If you look at what Azamati is doing this season, if you look at what Saminu is doing this season, and you all things being equal, you expect them to steadily progress. Azamati ran a win-aided 9.93 over the weekend. And if you look at it, if you narrow it down, that will look around 9 points.
Let's say 9.97,
and this is the first time he'll be running under 9 seconds in, I think, 2 years.
In 2 years, yes.
2 years, and that's a big deal. He's slowly rediscovering his form. If you go back last season, at the start of last season, which was the Africa Games, it was at the beginning of the outdoor calendar. And he was running 9.35 and 9.33. And he ended up not going too well at the Olympics, although he managed to make the semi-final of an Olympics. This time around, he's starting and he's done, I think, 10.07. He's done 10.03.
He did 10.07, 10.02, and now 9.95, because which was win-aided and all.
So for me, he's on that trajectory to getting back to his best. And if we can manage this period for him, manage this period for Saminu, and you have the likes of Joe Paul and then Fuseni, we could be seeing something at the World Championship. But again, it's a bit too early to call something like that, but you have to give them credit for yet again qualifying for another World Championship.
I'll take the toss of Achu pretty soon, but let's take a look at the highlights of that race that Daniel Cranton was just talking about. Wow, Ibrahim Fuseni, what a finish. What a finish. And in fact, it seems when it comes to 200 meters, when they took off, it's like they didn't fly. You were just talking about the top end speed of Joseph Polamo.
Yeah, that's what did the trick for him. Look, Daniel has broken it down. The next thing, and I'm going to say everything I've said again, because there is a new GOC leadership. The last time I sat with the president, he told me that he was going to submit a proposal to the sports minister. I think he rehashed that at the stakeholders meeting and asked for that support. 2 weeks ago, the Nigerian Commission for Sports gave their weightlifters who were coming to this event $20,000 each. There were 4 of them to prepare for the...
That's $80,000.
Now, the concerns with that was that the monies came late, which is true. But we can't even make such complaints because there's nothing like that for our...
Even 2007, you know they get now.
So that needs to change because, look, I'm just looking at the World Athletics calendar for the year. It will be a crime if we don't expose these athletes to at least 2 of the international meets between now and September.
That's true.
This month alone, we've got the Tokyo Grand Prix coming up. There is the Diamond League in Doha. Then next month, we've got another Diamond League in Rabat.
We even have one just in Kenya here.
Then there's the Continental Championships in Senegal. Look, no matter what we say about these guys and how good they are, the only thing missing in all of these years so it's nice when you hear Daniel give a chronology of the events where they have been excelling. Yeah, but if you win these medals, but they are far between few. Since the team won that
gold medal in 2019
in Rabat, it took them 3 years. 3 years before they met again at an international meet. Simply because...
That was Silesia. It took 2 years, sir. That was in Silesia,
Simply because the states decided to forget about everything they had done. So when they came, we took pictures with them. We took pictures with the medal. We said nice things about them. And then the states went to sleep. Look, next door Nigeria, for all the chaos that they have. So the question that I kept telling people when I saw Nigerians complaining about the time was, you don't know what you have. You don't, because look, for everything that we've said about this group, it will be a crime. At least, let's expose them, right? Put them to, I'm not saying that let them compete every month. Some of them are in school, so even the academic calendars may not permit it. But you should have a plan that makes it possible for those who are available to represent the country. And you see, now we have a pool of about 5 or 6. Unfortunately,
in fact, there are actually more.
I'm talking about the elite athletes that we have now.
So we can talk of Saminu, Azamati, Joe Paul, Fuseni. Now Bosho is
based
there.
on the big
then
is
James Dazi.
Yeah.
There is Bokun, who I just came.
But in terms of consistency,
then Barnabas again.
You have a big pool, but I just use elites because of consistency.
Sure.
But there are others, as you've said, that are in the pool. So it is impossible to think of a scenario where, for example, the Diamond League in Rabat, you enter Ghana and then you say that, oh, all of the athletes are not present. We've had Shansafu entry not available for a year.
More. Since 2022, he hasn't been part of the team.
We've qualified for the Commonwealth Games until that technical whatever happened.
Yeah.
We've qualified for the Olympic Games. We've excelled at the African Games, right? And then the African Championships in Senegal as well.
And that was in Douala.
So clearly, we have a pool big enough for us to, at every I mean, this weekend, it was without our best sprinter. And now, as Daniel said, our most informed sprinter.
Yeah.
Because where we are now, there's no question about
whether we have the quality.
No. The only thing remaining is give them money to prepare, enter them into competitions, pay for the coaches who will train them.
And we are good to
That's it. And not just for the sprints team, but for all of our athletes. And it takes a deliberate plan that is clear in terms of a consistent source of funding. Right, so you clearly define, and that is why I'm not comfortable with the seeming silence about the sports fund.
Yeah.
Because it sort of ties your hand in terms of what you can say about what the government needs to do. But whatever it is, something has to give. We can no longer be talking about what happened to Deborah Akwa, what happened to Rosie Eboa.
Abigail Kwatin.
Look, we're tired of complaining. At this point, we need to move the conversation to a point where we are discussing the initiatives that have been taken. We're exploring ideas or new ways of making them better, right? So when we come and sit here, the conversation should be about, for the Rabat meet, for the Diamond League in Tokyo. I think that these 5 athletes or 5 sprinters deserve to be there. Daniel says that, no, maybe this person, because of these races that he has had in the last couple of years, he deserves to be rewarded for his consistency. Those are the conversations that we need to be having, right? Where the listeners clearly get to see our rankings and see for the 6 or the 8 sprinters that we have got, who will serve this country well if given the opportunity.
And in fact, we can even organize a national championship. We need to.
That's what I was coming to. If you look at the form of some of these athletes, it will be impossible, all things being equal, it will be impossible to gather a team of 6 if we don't have a national championship. If we don't have a national championship.
That's the reason why
every World Championship, every country is awarded with 3. 3.
Yeah.
So Sami is on form, Fuseni is on form, Joe Paul is on form, Azar is on form. We have to.
And in fact, there's a reason why Jamaica, they will go for a championship. Ellen Thompson-Herah would not be there because she didn't do well in the national championship.
See, over there, it doesn't matter what times you recorded wherever. Come home.
Come and do it. Come and do it.
So when I
come there and there's some small girl will beat you.
When I spoke to Bao Fuseni and the new CEO, he said they had something like that in the offing.
Well, we have discussed those things.
Do it in a manner that makes it impossible for Azamati to say that I have this, for Joe Paul to say that I have. Do it and do it well and set the standard that this is the only place where you earn your place on Team Ghana.
We'll talk some football now. Unfortunately, our under-20 national team, the Black Satellites. In fact, when we were having our conversation this morning, we were talking the possibility of if they qualify, and now they have failed. I said penalty case, and actually asked me whether there's enough research to show that the team is cursed.
Because it is scientific. Teams have shown us over and over again that
we are poor when it comes to penalty kicks.
That's it. It's purely this. and then the technique. That's it.
Let's take the highlights and come back, and we'll talk about it.
What's funny?
No, she didn't want to say the why against. We should go,
You're living in her head.
I said, go,
Charlie.
No, you've been dieting me for years. This one will be normal. but actually, talk to me. What did you work out for these boys? They gave everything.
I don't think they were properly coached.
Hmm?
No, I don't think they were properly. And for me, it was disappointing because this should be the crowning moment for a lot of the people who believe in Desmond. Yeah. If you consider the fact that the team, he's coached the team for almost 2 years, September 2023 up until now. This was his first big stage. So he's had all of these mini tournaments, and there had been signs that the team was being given a breath of fresh air. So they were playing some really good football, especially in the opening months. And we all didn't seem to care too much about the results. And that for me was very good, that for the first time it appears Ghanaians were more interested in the things that mattered. But the first game against DR Congo will look completely disfigured. Against Senegal, the game was very physical. It was difficult to tell what the team wanted to do. But because it was a second game and we had not won the first game, we needed the win. And so you will take that.
It doesn't matter how you
not really complain. But when you watch that game against the Central African Republic and how, yes, we knocked the ball around, had a lot of it, but we struggled to really stretch them and create chances. What happened today was, for me, it was difficult to try to make sense of, because so apart from the mistakes, so I don't want to reduce the narrative about the game to just the two mistakes that they made. Admittedly, it should not happen, because Ofori McCarthy is the most capped player in the team. He's the most experienced player. Even at club level, he's played more games than any member of the team, so you expect better. Also because of the other player beside him, Aaron Essel. They have to communicate and handle those situations.
This Aaron Essel's third under 20 competition.
And after, I think Essel may have even played more games locally than Ofori McCarthy. What surprised me, however, was that up until halftime, it was difficult to tell what the team wanted to do, because when building up, there appeared to be a huge chasm between the midfield and then the attack. So you saw on numerous occasions Lode Frifa and then Abdulaziz dropping very deep as into Ghana's half to pick up the ball and try to move further. Of course, when there is that kind of chaos, so I didn't really blame Aziz, because whenever he had the ball, yes, there were options around him, but those weren't great options. So when he was caught ball hogging and he was reluctant to release the ball, I wasn't quick to blame him, because he needs runners around him. He needs better options that he can either use as a decoy or combine with. We didn't see that. Now, whilst they were dropping deep, or even before they started dropping deep, we were hitting long balls into wide areas and forcing them to chase. And I thought it was not the best way of utilizing the skill sets of our forwards, especially when you had Jerry Efriye in the middle. So you would want them to perhaps come short to the edge of the D, right, where your midfielders can combine with them. And with runners either side of them, you can stretch the opponent's defense. But that is how we approached the game, and it didn't work. And it didn't surprise me that we didn't have an attempt on goal until the 35th minute. And when it came, it was that rugby free kick from Aziz. Right. In the second half, we tried to force the issue. But it was more of fight. It was more of a team clutching at straws. So play with a bit more intensity, be quicker about it, show a bit more commitment. And it was also facilitated by the fact that Egypt had retreated. And this was perhaps the least compact Egyptian team at any level that I had seen.
Even quality-wise.
And for me, I thought, you know what, just like the second game, get that win and secure the World Cup qualification, because 10 years is a long time. So there's that context that whilst I wanted to see signs of progress in terms of this team, and I wanted to see the team do well on the big stage, we also knew that, given how long we've missed out on the World Cup, that was also important. And I think that would have given Desmond Ofei a bit more credibility. Unfortunately, that has not happened. We've gone out on a whimper. there is not a single game where you can point to and say...
Essentially saying...
There's not a single game where...
break down Wimper.
Where you can say that the team really played well. And so I feel very bad for him and for the players themselves because they walk away with more questions than credibility. But perhaps it's the best time to have this kind of result because for the first time in a long while, we have gone out. Yes, people are disappointed. Yes, people are upset. But I'm not hearing sack the coach, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
So let's come heads prevail, think it through, and then see what Ofe wants to do with the team again. Because I don't think we should even be having a conversation of whether or not he should be sacked. But I want to see signs that he has a clear understanding of what has happened and is clear in his mind and has the right ideas to take this team forward. But I really expected better, given how long he's been in charge.
Daniel Cranton, this is a youth competition. Is this a stage for us to be stressed about the performance of the boys or focus on their growth and development?
Bare minimum, I think we should have qualified for the World Cup. I actually have a very different view. I think the coaching was good. I think this is probably the best performance we've seen the team.
Especially in the last
25
minutes of the game.
This was more like a Desmond Ofe team than what we've seen in the opening stages of the competition. And to be frank, last week I said that it would take time. Tournaments are very funny. When it starts, you get into the groove. It's very difficult for players to quickly settle down and start playing the football they know. Sometimes you need to struggle, grind out results, and get to where you want to get to, which is bare minimum the knockout rounds. And once they got there, I think Egypt knew they couldn't compete with the quality of Ghana. So they tried to frustrate Ghana's build-up, frustrate our attempts to play a quick interplay, passing, fluid game. And it worked. If you notice, in fact, they were going really long. Yeah. We're not interested in playing the ball through us.
Pack the ball.
We're encouraging the long balls and the physical battles. And when they got the 2 goals, which were complete gifts, I really respect the character that the boys showed. They dug deep. In the dying embers of the first half, they knew they had to force the issue. Yeah. And that's why I'm not really a fan of Aziz's long-range shots. But if it's not working, you need to take matters into your own hands. And he did.
One way.
And if you don't shoot, and he got a goal. And that was the perfect situation we needed heading into halftime. Just scoring a goal before halftime, 2 and just 1 goal in it, coming back. And then we saw the team now begin to play a bit better. We were creating some openings, creating some really good scenarios. It was just the decision-making or the finishing that was letting us down. And they continued to force the issue. Eventually, they got a penalty. Hakim scored it brilliantly. But it's the extra time that, for me, sort of exposed some of the poor decisions that were made going into the game. Coaching-wise, I think it was brilliant, but certain decisions. And one of it was starting a free in this game. He has had a bit too many flights
jet lag and all.
And the guy arrived, he went to play a game on Saturday in Spain, came back on Sunday.
In fact, he flew out on Friday, played on Saturday, flew back on Sunday, and then played a game on Monday.
So for me, I thought it would have been smarter if we had started him from the bench. Because to be frank, in extra time, when Egypt had the tired legs, that's when we needed his movement up front to be able to give some of these attacking players options. But at that point, we had brought in Aziz Musbah, who is a very good forward, but he's very different from Afriyie. Afriyie is very mobile. He's always constantly moving around. Defenders have a lot to think about when he's around. But Aziz invites, he sort of like, Musbah likes the physical battles. He wants you to play it into him.
He's Aziz Musbah.
Yeah, so he's Aziz Musbah, that's why. So it's for me, that's what we're missing in extra time. That's a free factor. And to be frank, he was just a bit too tired to continue the game down that line. We had some good, obviously, Hakim came on. But it hurts because, again, like it's the same old thing that is happening. And when Da Costa was putting the ball on I don't know if you guys saw, his hand was shaking. as he was placing the ball on the spot.
He was Popeye.
And I don't, you see.
But why,
it's not,
why, why was Sulemana not?
Yeah, that's the question. The guy takes a 90th minute penalty to force it.
The confidence it takes. The confidence it takes to step
that
up.
90th. In fact, 101 minutes.
Yeah. And you see, for me, if he was on the pitch, I just can't readily remember. But if he was on the pitch, why wasn't he part of the first?
He was on the pitch.
Because Da Costa's hand was shaking. Like, we were all watching and we're like, nah, this is a bad. He's going to miss it. And truly, he goes ahead and misses it. But Calf, the keeper came off his line. The keeper clearly came off his line. There was no review. In fact, if you pause the video right before the kick was taken, the lineswoman who is supposed to be looking at the goalkeeper was looking at the kicker. So that's an issue. And didn't spot the goalkeeper coming off his line. And VAR is being used. So why didn't VAR check that for the kick to be retaken? It just went ahead because of. And that's very poor at this level. So CAF need to check that because Sekou would have saved the penalty if it was. As it did. Da Costa would have scored the penalty if
it was retaken.
I know him. But look, it's a serious issue for me. Our approach towards penalty shootouts seriously needs to change because the record is absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
If you look at I did some research in 2021. If you look at the reason, you cry. And it's not just national teams. Ghanaian club sides too. It's like Ghana, we don't know how to take penalties. And if you go deeper into it, when the former GFA technical director was putting his reports there, when he was putting together the DNA document, one of the weaknesses he identified after 2 years of research into Ghanaian players was our mental fortitude. He said we have a very poor mentality.
Do you know who was a key part of the development of that DNA?
Who?
Desmond Ofer.
Exactly. Exactly.
So what I was told that he was the heart of that DNA. I was like, really?
Look, it's very problematic when we see the same things over and over again. And the reason why I can boldly say that I don't think proper preparation was done into penalty kicks. When the guy is placing the ball on the spot and he's shaking.
One of your first five.
That doesn't look like somebody who is being prepped for that situation. So I'm not going to blame Da Costa. For me, I don't blame him. Because it's very, very difficult. It's not small. It's not small. You remember when Ajimambidu was talking about one of his he said when it was time for his kick, he wanted to switch with somebody and told the person because Ghana for penalty, he's afraid. He's scared.
You know what people play?
It's not small. We see everything here is just a penalty, but it's huge pressure. And at that age, they need to be properly prepped. Even the top professionals are missing it. How much more under 20? So it just doesn't, what I saw today just doesn't signal a team that was prepped for the possibility of penalty shootouts. And unfortunately, we are out again. And
in fact, you see, it keeps repeating itself because we leave everything to chance. That's how we manage in this country. That's how we lead.
It's lottery.
We leave everything to chance, forgetting that at this level, it is not lottery. It is never lottery. John Killer, the former Wafa coach. He told me that everywhere else in the world, they are confident about penalty kicks because all of the elements that determine the outcome of the penalty kicks are in the control or under the control of the player taking the kick.
This was over 10 years ago. Because John Killer left.
It's still valid today. 2015, right?
Yeah, 2014, 2015.
He said, when you are taking a penalty kick, if you don't panic and second guess yourself, and you hit it on target and you hit it well, 9 out of 10 chances you should score because you control the direction the ball moves in, the pace at which it moves, how high or how low it moves, and how the ball moves. So if you hit it with your instep and it is bending away from the goalkeeper and you hit it well, the keeper shouldn't save it. Unless you hit it in a manner that it goes close to the goalkeeper, right? Even if you hit it with your instep and it still goes in this direction, like the way Steve Napier used to hit them. Good elevation, power, but within that space. The only situation that the kicker does not control where the ball ends up is in extremely windy and extremely wet conditions, where you can slip, like the John Terry one. Because the goalkeeper is only guessing. He has no way of telling, even if he goes to pick up past clips of every player and watches it, the way Steve Napier used to take his penalty kicks. Which goalkeeper in the world will watch his clips and save it?
Steve Napier actually told me that he was actually told that when you're going to take the penalty, you focus one angle and hit it hard.
Steve Napier, Del Piero, Frank Lampard. You watch the clips, you still won't save it. In fact, Lampard wasn't always into the corner, but he hits it so hard and so cleanly that
sometimes
the ball enters the net. So look, until our coaches decide that they are going to make this as important as every tactical drill, and also find specialists, because as for the psychological aspects, it is not everybody who can do it. You need to be trained for that particular job. You can't just go and take a coach and say that he should come and handle the psycho. It is a special art. It is a special science that requires training, that you go to school for, that you train for. Unfortunately for us, we are not prepared to invest in that side, but that's on the side. But in terms of the sheer technique and how to handle the atmosphere around it, it is coaching.
We have to get that done. I remember when I was speaking to Emmanuel Ajimambedu, he said that when we were going to take the penalty kicks, Salasata told him, so he was only fortunate that he got to his turn, because Salasata clearly told him, no, he will not play. You should stand here. Because he knew that if they asked to go and play the ball, he will either sky it or... Let's do some FA Cup right now. Well, Kotoko in the final of the FA Cup and Golden Kick as well. There's always something special about the FA Cup. It appears almost every year there's this one Division 1 team that gets so close to the final of the competition, or even makes the final. And I can talk about 2011 Nanya FC. 2012, was it New DBRC? Yeah. Right?
The DBRC were in the Premier League when they won it.
Yes, they qualified to the Premier League when they won it. Yeah. And then there was a 2013 one, Midiama were in the final. And they were in the final against Kotoko. Yeah. In 2014, Inter Allies had just qualified to the Premier League. They were also in the final of the FA Cup. 2015, Midiama versus Kotoko again in Second D. Then 2016 was Okoro United and Bechem United. Okoro United was in Division 1. Yeah. 2017 has then Kotoko. So there's always this Division 1 team.
2022, 23, Sky FC did semi-final. Yeah. I think they did quarter and semi-final. Yeah, semi-final.
They did quarter-final the year before.
The year before, and then
they lost to the eventual.
Indeed, Obia and Obia, they do it so well. Briefly, before I go to Karim, Bande Pep Guardiola was standby with numbers. I see plenty numbers. Andre Ayew, his 500 league games. Wow, quite a legend. But briefly, did any of you ever for once thought you could see Golden Kick in the final of this competition?
Once they drew at Tram Davis, of course. Of course,
once they drew them there, it was possible. But from the beginning of the season or the competition, I'm not sure.
But as you rightly indicated, I think the competition has always had this about it. Yeah. And the simple explanation is that teams prepare for this better than they do for the league. At least there is a budget for it.
In fact, people actually claim the FA Cup is more credible than the league.
Well, there's a budget for it. And also because of the fact that it is a one-off. And most of these clubs tend to play the games at home. A lot of the Division 1 clubs. So if you look through the Nanya FC run up until the final, I think they played 4 of the games at home. Yeah. Then there was the Mediama season, the Interlies, the Sky FC game. The second season was the anomaly. So they played
Golden Kids and Score Hearts.
Yeah, Golden
Kids. They didn't play at home.
No, not all it was
11.
So the Sky FC, the second season, the semi-final was the anomaly because they played 2 games at home and then 3 games away. Now we're having Golden Kicks. But I really wanted to see Brecum Chelsea in the final. Samuel Boyd was, if he had won it, he would have become one of the few coaches to have won it twice with one team and a third time with a third.
Oh, right. So you were looking for the story?
For that storyline.
Okay.
But Zito himself...
Because as a day here, as a Kotoko fan, you won't make them big Kotoko.
No, because...
Why like that?
I think the gains that Boydu has made at Chelsea has gone under the radar. When he took over the team last year, they were battling relegation. He finished 3rd in his first season. And in his second season, he's taking them to the semi-final, something Chelsea have never done before until he got the job. But Zito has got an equally compelling story because if he wins it, he becomes one of the few coaches to have won it twice with two different coaches, two different clubs.
Different club.
But also, he'll become one of the few Kotoko ex-players to have won it as a player and as a coach, for them. And look,
actually with storylines. Hey,
look, but on a level, Zito Abobra. Yeah, because so he has 5 league titles to his name, 2 FA Cups, 1 Champions League. As a coach, he's won 1 FA Cup with Dreams. He's won 1 league title as assistant coach with Kotoko.
This was the 2006 one or something.
Yeah, 2006. And now he's on the cusp of adding this to it.
Wow.
Well done to him.
Take nothing away from Zito, but if you leave me 6 points away from the league title with 5 games...
I know your position. That's why I didn't come to you.
You leave me in the semi-final of a FA Cup. Neutral ground against... Come on.
I just know your position because you say it was Prosper Nato who did the job.
You see, Zito is a guy. Like Zito, when it comes to cup competitions, he's a guy. But this one's on way.
Someone won 4 knockout rounds.
I'm top semi-final.
Hi, Mufti. I'm Ike from Kumasi, Abrepo. On the lighter note, please, for once, please let Karim be and allow the gentleman to live his life. If not, I will sue you guys for defaming such a handsome guy of his caliber.
Abe, what is his name again? What is the name you are laughing? Ike from where?
Kumasi.
Abrepo
in Kumasi.
I'll look for him.
You will look for him, eh? Okay. He said he will sue us for always defaming such a handsome guy like yourself. Hey, Karim. Ghana under 20 did not have a good communication at the back. That's what someone says. Hey, Nabla, why are you doing that to your director? These are the reasons why I don't be in Sports Zone on Mondays. Greetings to you guys in the studio. I'm Francis, watching live from Sogakope. Hi, good evening to you all. It is always a great moment of joy to sit in front of my TV every Monday to watch Sports Zone on Joy Prime. The facts and analysis are superb. Real Madrid, congratulations to all our gallant players who fought with all their hearts this far. So we are proud of your high spirit. As for Barcelona, they can score us back to back to back to back. But for Champions League, they should forget it. Hello, Karim. This is Joseph from Bande. Okay, your brother has come. My name is Richido from Oti region. Jasikan. Everything after Sports Zone is Sports Zone. Anything bigger than money is more money. Madrid should have an identity of game plan and stick to it. It will really help their progression. Good evening to you and your crew. If the balls could have talked yesterday, it could have said, oh, we love Barcelona, because all the beautiful touches were from Barcelona. This is Michael from Ofinso. Good evening to you all in the studio. No amount of goals against Real Madrid in yesterday's game will upset us. We already took solace from the Inter victory. Mohamed Baza from Plateau State in Nigeria. Oh, wow. We just spoke nicely about Nigerian athletics. Good evening, Mufti. I don't understand why Suleimana was left out of the first 3 penalty takers. That's just exactly what my guests too were saying. And good evening, my brother. On the poor penalties of Ghanaian players, we also lack good keepers who can at least make a save or two for us. Just reflect on it and see when we get such a keeper. Maybe Daniel Ajay in the 2009.
Samia is about
Ajay and then Fatal Dada. Fatal Dada was the last Ghanaian goalkeeper to
save a penalty. I recall that. And then this one too.
Did you hear the start I said?
Yeah, you mentioned they were scary.
Do you know when it was?
When was that?
2013 AFCON. The shootout. He saved 1 penalty.
That
was the last time the Ghanaian goalkeeper saved a penalty.
Against Burkina Faso.
Yeah, because as for Brahima, the people, what's his name? Cote d'Ivoire missed the 2. He didn't save it.
Not even for us, Spider-Man. You see somewhere. You are lucky you are in the European sport. You will not keep quiet. So he thought he would take Champions League sport. Go and sit somewhere. Go and play Conference League. Concert man. Angry for what? Pilolo Sunyani. School football is better than the Ghana Premier League. Kai, Abba, gentlemen, relax. Pep Guardiola, what do you have for us? In fact, with the Tumu Football Championship coming up on May 24, which of the teams will you be coaching?
I may just have to Why?
I know.
Yeah.
You are 16, eh?
Gary, what position would you be playing?
Oh, correct number 6.
Or Chiche?
Correct number 6.
Yeah, I'll be dishing out the pass.
I thought you were number 11. No?
Me, I'll be versatile.
Yeah.
So if the 6 are, you see somebody who is correct and can give out the passes, then I'll go and...
But Karim, with your height, you want to play 6?
Oh!
Tell him about Javi.
I be a younger day. You
should ask you.
Yeah. I get a lot of people who can give testimony. If you are asked for text messages, people from Tumu, they should text.
Really?
Footballer.
Yeah, very good footballer. What do you have for us, Karim? Player. What do you have for us tonight? I can see some plenty numbers behind you.
Yeah, plenty numbers because he's a man with aura.
Aura.
When he speaks, everyone listen.
Yes.
Yeah.
To one.
And when he makes 500 league appearances, he has to be the number 1. You know.
Sure.
Yeah. 500 league appearances is not. I can't count more than 2 players from Ghana who have done that. If you are looking at Michael Essien, in terms of league appearances, he has not made 500. His is at 402. And if you are looking at his father, that is Abedi Pele himself, out of Ghana, I don't know how many appearances he made in the Ghana Premier League. So if you are looking at out of Ghana, Abedi Pele himself has made only 351 league appearances, not Champions League and others included league. Then if you are looking at all those 2 I've mentioned have won the Champions League, that is ACN and Abedi Pele. Mohamed Suleiman Tari, he himself, he made 348 league appearances. So Andre, are you making 500 is a big deal. And out of those 500 he has played, he has scored 135 goals and provided 44.
Capito.
Capi, Ora. He said you will go if you invite him, cry, still you get his name. Now this man, he's going back to play. He's going to play top flight football for the first time. That is transferred the Bokonisdorfer. Plays for Hamburger. That is Hamburg. Some people call it. Some people simply call it HSV. He has fired them back to the Bundesliga promotion after 7 years in the Bundesliga too. And for himself, if you are looking at his performances this season in the league, out of 32 games he has played, that is 32. 32 games he has played, he has scored 14 goals. Last week I said that in his career as a professional footballer in the league, he has never scored more than 12. And over the weekend, he added 2. That is Hamburg. They won 5-2 against Ulm. That is their penultimate game of the season. Okay. And in that game, he scored twice. That confirmed their promotion to the Bundesliga. And always when he comes to Ghana, looks like things don't fall in place for him. I hope when he goes to the Bundesliga, they do for him. And also, I have to mention that Jonas Ajeti, he also won the
league, the Swiss
Super League with Basel. They also won 5-2, I think, against Lugano. Yeah. And in that game, he played the full game, and that was his 29th game for them in the league. Out of that 29, 27 of them were starts. So, congratulations to the 2 of them, gaining promotion and also winning the league. But one player I would have to start with is Mohamed Musa. He's the newest name in this team of the week today. Mohamed Musa plays for Boardroom, that is in the Turkey Super League. Boardroom. And they
which of the Musa? Is it the guy who was with Wafa?
I can't remember him playing for Wafa.
Wafa Musa was a while back.
How old is that?
No, this one, 23.
Oh, no, then that's not him.
Musa was
this guy has played a lot of his career in Turkey. His youth career, the club he plays for in Ghana, Bektoro or something like I've never heard of the name before. So his youth career, I think he was small when he moved to Turkey, where he played most of his youth career there. Now this is his 3rd or 4th season with Boardroom. And they played against Sivasspor. It was a relegation battle for the 2 teams, and he stood out for them, giving out a lot of nice passes and also completing 2/2 of the dribbles he attempted. Then just behind him is Gideon Mensah, who played for Auxerre, and they drew 1-1 against Nantes. And in that game, Gideon Mensah was standout, touched the ball 101 times, and out of the 77 passes he attempted, he completed 70 of them. That is about 91% 1% completion rate. Then Terry Yegbe, he has been linked with a lot of Premier League clubs. I hope that move materializes. And his team is Elfsborg. They played against Østers, that is in Sweden, and they won 1-0. Terry Yegbe won 100% of the tackles he attempted. That is 3 out of 3. Then Kasim Adams played for Servette. Servette played against Young Boys. They were in contention for the Swiss Super League, and that draw against Young Boys meant that Basel wrapped up the league with games to spare. Then Maxwell Wology plays for Fredrikstad, that is in Norway, and they played against Kristiansand. And in that game, they won. That is Fredrikstad won 1-0, and Maxwell Wology also won the most tackles in that game, that is 4. Then in goal, I have Rome Owusu Odro plays for AZ Alkmaar, and they won 3-0 against Groningen, that is in the Dutch league, and he kept his 9th clean sheet in 26 games. Then Koningsdorf, I've just spoken about him. Mohamed Kudus, a lot of people who watch this show have watched him against Man United. He sat Amad Diallo down and provided an assist. Why is Achu laughing? Is it because he had Man United?
It's a description that he sat Amad Diallo down.
Yes, he put him on the floor like...
Then what happened?
And provided his 3rd assist of the season. Now, his 3rd means that is half of what he has done last season in the Premier League. 3, last season 6. And also in terms of goals, he has 4, and last season he has 8. Last season he played 33 games in the Premier League. This season he has 30. And he's having half of everything he has done last season. It means that the team West Ham itself has fallen behind in terms of what they've done last season. And then this guy have been talking about team since. Then Ragnar Archie plays for Kaiserslautern, and they won 2-1 against Darmstadt. And he has now scored his 18th goal in the German Bundesliga 2, and it means that he's the 2nd highest scorer in the Bundesliga 2. It's going to take them some miracle to be in the playoff. He might not be in contention for promotion, but maybe next season a big club will come for him, looking at how consistently he's performing. Then Mohamed Husseini scored the winner for. That is his team. What is the name? Forgotten the name of the team.
Which one?
He played in the Europa League.
Welcome back from the break. This is Sports Zone, and we are going to talk La Liga. The El Clásico happened. Let's take highlights of how Barcelona came from behind to defeat Real Madrid by 4-3 in this game. Tonight is not a good night for Pamela. I will say what she said. 4 games. Barcelona walloped Real Madrid. They never had answers throughout this season.
16-7.
What happened?
See, I will be something. 16-7.
Now, come on.
We say what happened. What happened?
And you made a mistake about
However, this it should have been 6 or 7 or 8. It should have been. And the officiating too was terrible, but Barcelona won, so we don't know.
Carlo never got answers for Hansi Flick.
This Real Madrid team, the issues are too many. In fact, let's just look at the goals they conceded. So the first one was a set piece.
Yeah.
They've had set piece issues throughout the season. In fact, before the Arsenal game, I came to show how bad they
were in terms of set pieces.
Consider a set piece goal. The third goal that Rafinha scored, the one that made it 3-2. They lost the ball in transition, always open, yet they are very careless in possession in the middle of the park. Before the Arsenal second leg game, I came to show how Real Madrid can be undone if teams decide to be aggressive in the middle of the park, win the ball off because they are very open on the counter. And we saw it again. It was literally Barcelona picking it up. One pass from Pedri went into Rafinha, and it was a goal. Like, the weaknesses are there. They are there in abundance. And we saw it like time and time again through the whole game. In fact, at 2-0, it was so funny. Like, Real Madrid are leading 2-0. Yet, we all knew.
Their own fans were not even confident.
Like, we all knew.
It's the aura.
We all knew. And the audacity, it was like the possibility of Barcelona equalizing and even going ahead before halftime was very, very high. And between the 15th minute and the 45th minute, Barca scored 4 times. Like, that's how good this Barcelona team is, and that's how poor this Real Madrid team is. Because this was like a title decider. This was an opportunity for Real Madrid. At 2-0, Real Madrid were closing the gap to just 1 point. With, 3 games to go, 2 games to go.
2 games to spare.
And that will become a proper heated battle to the end of the season. 2-0 in 15 minutes. And yet, they were carved open 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There were so many chances. Rafinha missing the free header. Ferran Torres tie Ampam on the right on the goal line. Literally, all he had to do was to guide it in. Like, it was so bad. And for me, I don't think we don't need to talk plenty because we've said it time and time again, the problems of this Real Madrid team. But whatever the case is, they seriously need to go and strengthen, first of all, the middle of the park, and they need to get a couple of bodies on the wide areas in terms of fullbacks. We know they've picked up Trent Alexander-Arnold. I don't know what they're going to do at the left back. Maybe I think they need 1 centre back, but the middle of the park, I'm hearing rumors of a Zubimendi deal. It has to be tied down because other than that, as long as Hansi Flick stays in this team, it's going to get worse because you can't concede 16 goals against your sworn rivals in 4 games. It's sickening. 16 goals in 1 season against 1 team. 1 team has carved you open 16 times. And the crazy thing is, in all those games, it could have and should have been more. So we could have had like 20 or 25 goals against 1 team this season. It doesn't make sense from a Madrid point of view. I think 4-3 was a very flattering scoreline, a very, very flattering score. And the referee, they should thank the referee for that.
Achu, is Xabi Alonso the solution? Because Carlo has been confirmed the next Brazil head coach.
He's a very good coach. As to whether or not he will be a solution, we've seen better coaches struggle at Madrid. Beyond whatever he knows tactically, because the issues are not beyond solving. He can fix the team. There is the issue of managing. He's never had to manage personalities in the dressing room like
the Real Madrid.
Yeah. So that will come with its own challenge. But Madrid have got the deep pockets. They have got the resources to sign the players that would allow him to fix this team. But everyone has been saying for the longest time how Bellingham, Vinicius, Rodrigo, and Mbappe cannot play together. It is true. And that is the decision he has to make. For his own sake, I hope that the club is prepared to sacrifice one of those. And it looks like the easiest of those will be Rodrigo. So sacrifices have to be made before anyone can even think of, because I don't see in which world you can assemble any midfield combination that still has at the front 4 of those players and you would achieve balance. It's practically impossible. So there is that he has to resolve. Well, I don't believe there is any midfield combination that can give you that, especially in terms of how you are going to press, right, on and off the ball. But as for Barca, everything else, yeah, we know they are that good. Mm-hmm. But everything else they've been doing in the past month has prepared them to be in the position of being 2 goals down and then replying with double within 30 or 35.
And they did it in the Champions League against Inter twice.
Yeah. But final thing
Inter defensive, they are scoring 3 now Madrid.
Final thing I'm going to say is this. If Alonso doesn't take care, he's going to inherit a team that has PTSD of Barca. Between 2008 and 2011. You see the margin of victories Barca has been recording this season? That's
why they went and brought Jose Mourinho to break that.
That is what Barca inflicted to the point where there were games where Madrid knew the only way they would stand a chance is just to be kicking the players and do it in turns.
That's where you see Pepe, Kung Fu, Sergio Ramos.
After this win, look, when a 17-year-old like Lamine Yamal is sitting in a press conference and telling Madrid that no matter what you do, this year will beat you, and on match day he steps up to come and score, and his team wins that game, it tells you that there is, psychologically, the Barca team is in a different place.
Okay, Achu, our time is far spent and far gone. Show proudly brought to you by Kivo 481 in Gary, Soke Mix. Yes, I'll show you Spagon.
No, 10 minutes we get.
No, we'll get some commercials to execute. We have some commercials.
Then let me give shout-outs before you read your this thing. Shout-outs to Joe Crespo, listening inside Takwa. He's a Tama boy, but he has run away to Takwa. He's chopping mining money in this thing. In Takwa, Joe Crespo.
I like the word mining money, not that I'm saying money.
No, mining money.
Which kind of Takwa is it?
Joe Crespo. You're doing well. Are you looking for a burst of flavor in every sip? Discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. Enjoy the classic Piva cola flavor, orange flavor, tangerine flavor, grape, and cocktail, as well as the Piva mineral water. Yes. Flavorful moments in every bottle. Piva cola, orange, cocktail, grape, and tangy. Grab yours today. Available now at your local store. So you can call us on 0550 032231. Piva, a taste you will always love. Guinness, yes, we can. And also Kivu 4 in Wari Gary Soaking Smith. That have made it possible for us to bring you this show. We'll wrap up with some highlights of some of the Premier League matches, especially the one Chelsea chopped 2 against Newcastle. West Ham gave Man United. Amorim just lose anyhow. Wrap up with highlights of these matches. This has been our show tonight. Join us again next week.